To St. Paul's Cathedral in the heart of London came England and many of her allies to pay a last tribute to a fallen friend. The death of Franklin Roosevelt had stunned the whole free world. John Winant, the American ambassador, and Admiral Stark, close friends of the president. King Haakon of Norway. King Peter of Yugoslavia. Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands and the Crown Princess Juliana. The old warrior of England, Winston Churchill. For him, for all those there, it was a terrible and sober hour in a year of victory. And the nameless, unnumbered people of England were there with their leaders. There were the King and Queen of England and Princess Elizabeth. Four kings and three queens paid homage to a great man whose life had, in the hour of victory, come suddenly to its close. In Paris, liberated Paris, a requiem mass was held at the Cathedral of Notre Dame. American soldiers and the French people came silently and in mourning. The American ambassador, Mr. Caffery. General de Gaulle, the leader of Free France. A champion of all free men had died. In our mourning, we are resolved that we shall march on with his spirit as our guide. For more than 5 relentless years, these Allied bombers have been pouring destruction upon the vital centers of the Nazi war machine. Now, at long last, the strategic bombing is over. The great centers are dead, dead as this oil refinery at Homberg. Dead as the notorious Tyson Steelworks at Brockhausen, its furnaces blasted, its chimneys a crumpled ruin. Dead as the Staffrada Hotland Works at Hamborn, once among the greatest synthetic oil plants of the Reich. Here was the vital Ems-Weser Canal, where it joined the Dortmund waterway near Grafenhorst. No Hitler slave gangs could save it. No war cargo float down it again. Here once lay the war works of Essen, busy, prosperous Essen, thriving on what was once, in the whole world, the highest concentration of industry for death. Famous for Krupps, with its power plant, stocks, machinery. Yes, the work of the Allied bombers has finished here. Strategic bombing has ended all over Germany. Death has come back where it started. Troops of the American Third Army fight their way south on the road to Nuremberg. This is Bromberg. Resistance was heavy, for the German armies under Kesselring are here defending the approaches to Berchtesgaden. But the infantry goes in under heavy fire to clear out snipers and machine gun nests. The town is won. The last fanatical defenders are beaten down. The advance goes on. Back in Frankfort on Main, German civilians queue up for their rations. These are distributed out of German food stocks by military government authorities. In the little town of Daen, civilians raid coal heaps left behind by the retreating German army. Here the advance has been so swift that military government had not yet been able to restore order. In nearby Wertheim, it is food barges. Coal, food, clothing, whatever they can seize, they carry off to the holes in which they live. This is the master race. All over occupied Germany, the pattern remains the same. The battle, the swift driving on of the armies, the civilians who come out of their shelters, the posting of Allied proclamations, and a stunned and beaten people, cut off from the outer world, cut off even from its neighbors, is given orders and obeys. One of the captures of the week is Franz von Papen and his son. This former chancellor and Nazi ambassador becomes a prisoner of war, along with almost 2 millions of the German army. In the great advances of the month of April, the Allied armies have taken enough men for 100 German divisions. And the terrible blows continue, preparing for the junction of the Russian and Allied armies. Germany is almost split in two. And the drive goes on. Hanover is captured, and civilians wave white handkerchiefs and line the streets to watch a victorious army rumble through to the east. They see the awesome power of an avenging world. All along the Allied advance, the gates swing open from German concentration camps. At once, American Army investigators begin questioning freed Allied soldiers on their experiences in these camps of the living dead. The men report starvation in violation of the International Code on Treatment of Captured Soldiers. They furnish proof of slavery imposed on helpless women. Branded for all their years, their hands mangled by machines and munition factories. Men, women, and children were slain, piled together in common graves. 30,000 are buried here. They were mostly Russians. Throughout Germany, there are numerous burial grounds for Poles, Czechoslovaks, Frenchmen, Belgians, Dutchmen, Norwegians. Now war crimes investigating officers sift the evidence from the staff of the alleged insane asylum at Hadamar. Adolf Merkel, the record keeper, admits that sane people were incarcerated and executed here every day for political and religious beliefs. But scarred Dr. Adolf Wellman, the imposing chief, and short ball Karl Willig, the executioner, blame the murders by overdoses of morphine on other men. They insist they merely carried out the orders of higher officials in the Reich government and the Nazi Party. The court establishes guilt. In the graveyard at Hadamar, the evidence was uncovered. An American Army doctor makes autopsies at the grave. He reports symptoms of starvation, abuse, and poison. There are 20,000 dead at Hadamar, and at Ohrdruf many more, shot in the open fields and burned. The list of crimes is read to local German authorities, and they are shown the sheds where bodies are stacked up like cordwood. Each of the German officials blames somebody else for the grisly crimes. They claim they were puppets carrying out the governmental orders, the orders which the entire nation supported and upheld. In the eyes of Supreme Commander Eisenhower and of the world, this kind of torture and beating practiced on the prisoners is a crime. Throughout Germany, the scene of death repeats itself in concentration camps along the path of the Allied advance.